Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm happy to welcome you all to this exciting BIM Coordinator Summit for 2023. Today, we gather here to delve into a topic changing the architecture and engineering and construction industries, openBIM. Okay, so as we navigate through today's session, I invite you to think about how openBIM can impact your work, your organization, and the industry at large. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to engaging into a discussion with you about the future of building information modeling. And okay, I'll give you a quick overview of today's agenda. So we'll start with introduction to BIM and openBIM, and we'll go to why openBIM is important and how openBIM work and the challenges and limitation right now for openBIM. Okay, before we deep dive into openBIM and what it means and how that is structured and organized, let's have a look into the open software process and how that has been developed in the other software. So let's clarify what we mean by open source and closed software, like the chart we see now here. So open software is publicly accessible and can be modified, while closed software is just closed application, closed file. The beauty of open source tool is that they can often bridge the gap between these two worlds, and that's exactly what we are exploring today. So if you got many closed file from different software, you can convert that to an open software, open standard software file, and combine all of these different files in one combined open standard file. Let's see how it looks like. So imagine like you have project or you are working in a particular project involving multi-file formats, Word, Excel spreadsheet, and PowerPoint, JPEGs, Power BI dashboard, and you want to combine all of this in one file. So what can you do? You're going to convert all of this to PDF. So combining them into a single PDF can be a lifesaver. It streamlines sharing, storage, and accessibility, and allowing you to combine all of this in one file, and interoperability between all of this file could be solved. And we can see like how the interoperability between all of the PDF files have been increased a lot in the last few years. So how does that work actually? Step one, you are using an open source tool to convert your closed software to open standard file, like converting that to PDF. And step two, it's once you got all of this as an individual PDF file, you move to step three, which is combining all of them in one PDF file, which is simple as that. And we are doing that almost like every day right now. And this process might remind you of something, might remind you of the same idea, how we use the same idea in BIM process in model federation. We got like closed BIM file A, closed BIM file B, and C, and we convert that to open BIM file and combine all of them in one file. So how does that work? In the same way, so just like we explained the open standard file, it might have different file from different sources, Revit, Civil 3D, MicroStation, Tekla, and converting all of that to IFC file, allowing you to federate the model, and IFC file or open BIM file here plays the same role of the PDF file. So it's allowing you for seamless collaboration by integrating different software tools and data format, and our process actually integrates various file format into one file. This fosters easier collaboration and documentation management and allowing for further design and ensuring the quality of our documentation as well in later stages. Okay, this is a very high level idea of what's the openBIM and explaining how openBIM is designed to work. Let's go next to why openBIM is important, why it's crucial, why it's required for our business. So there are few critical points openBIM resolving and responding to, which is actually like we are suffering from now in our industry. So the primary goal actually of openBIM enhancing collaboration and streamline operation from design to construction to operation maintenance, which is perfectly aligned with the ISO 19650 requirement for what expected from BIM model. But important point why openBIM actually is required and why it's very important for us. So I'll start with the first one, interoperability, which is actually listed 4 here, but might be like the first important one, which is one of the primary advantage of openBIM. In construction industry, we have a lot of stakeholders, architects, engineers, contractors, and facility managers. And they are all using different software tools, which is like a usual process, but without a standardized approach. And this tool might not communicate effectively. We all got that in many of our projects, leading to data silos or misalignment between the data and losing the integration between all of them. So openBIM ensures that software application, regardless of their vendors, can exchange information seamlessly. This interoperability is crucial for maintaining data integrity and consistency throughout the project lifecycle. If I go to the next one, which is actually number 3 here, I would say out of that collaboration, it's the next important why openBIM is crucial and important for construction industry. Collaboration is at the heart of any successful construction project. Okay, openBIM fosters a collaboration between the team and ensuring all of the project stakeholders can access and modify and share digital representation of the building. This shared model becomes a single source of truth once you can have this level of collaboration between them, reducing the misunderstanding, errors, rework, and when everyone on the same page, projects are more likely to be completed on time and within budget. So I'll go to the data integrity and accuracy. So with openBIM, you have access to a higher degree of transparency. Every change made to the model is documented, make it easier to track decisions, understand the rationale behind them, and hold parties accountable. This transparency not only builds trust among stakeholders, but also aids to comply and resolve any dispute later on. So there's two other benefits. One of them is future proofing and the other one flexibility and choice. So when we are talking about future proofing, for instance, the construction industry evolves and will keep evolving. It will keep changing. Having closed file or closed standard file is no longer sustainable. And we need tools and technology that ensure that data remains accessible and usable regardless of future technology advancement. And this future proofing is vital for long-term building management and renovation and adaptation. And when you talk about flexibility, choice, innovation, that's all breaking down the barriers between file and encourage the innovation and collaboration between teams. Developers can create new tools on top of your models, plugins or solution without being restricted by closed system, closed software only. This flexibility ensures that the industry can adopt new challenge and needs. A few other like benefits from using the openBIM, like increasing data security and integrity, for instance. So the data security is crucial for all of the steps moving forward toward digital representation of your building when you start to use your model or your BIM model. So data sharing is important, but it's equally important to ensure the data security. openBIM standard have provisions for data protection, ensuring that sensitive information is accessible only to authorized personnel. Moreover, the standardized approach ensures data integrity, so the information remains consistent and accurate across all the platforms. Okay, before we talk about how openBIM works or what are the limitation of openBIM and the future of openBIM as well, let's talk about the history of openBIM, how it started and how it's evolved. So the concept of openBIM, it's emerged in late 1993, like early 2000s, as a response to these challenges like lack of interoperability and the difficulty to use the closed format files. This idea was to create an open standard that would allow for seamless collaboration and data exchange across different software platforms. This was a groundbreaking shift from closed silo system that has dominated the industry. Started from 1993 as an effort to develop a common standard between Autodesk, Bentley, and ArchCAD, and they're all involved in that. Would say like, let's get to the basics and agree on one of the standard. 1995, the International Alliance for Interoperability had been officially founded, IAI at the time, which is changed later to became the Building Smart organization. So that, and that happened between 1995 to 2000. And that's when they start to publish the IFC 1 and start to look for the BIM collaboration format and the information delivery manual and how can that all improve. But I'll say that the real start of the impact started with the announcing of Building Smart as an organization, 2005, when IAI changed their name to become Building Smart, and later on, 2008, Building Smart formation as an organization to promote open BIM. In 2012, the UK government mandate BIM level 2, which is changed later when ISO 19650 being published to complete different structure. But that's when we start to realize the heavily need for open BIM in all of our projects. In 2016, that's when the launch of the project for open BIM program and aimed to facilitate the software certification and user training. So organizations like Building Smart have played an important role in this development and adoption of open BIM. They provide the necessary framework and standard and certification to ensure that open BIM is reliable, secure, and effective. And today's open BIM is more than a concept, it's a movement and begun adopted globally for projects in all scales, from small residential building to massive infrastructure project. So if we look to where we are now with IFC file to 4.3, which is published like 2020, late last year, with additional requirement for rail and infrastructure project, and we are moving now toward the IFC 5, and the future is bright here. So as we've seen, open BIM has come a long way from its early days it has not only transformed how we approach construction, but also set a precedent for open collaboration and standardization for us. As to the question, what is IFC as industry foundation class is the one developed by Building Smart. What does that mean? How it's organized? What are the components of the IFC and how that of the IFC framework start from the IFC schema. Think of it as the dictionary for construction project. It defines all elements that included in the project, like walls, doors, and material, and along with their attributes. When we go to IFC format, we have the IFC file format, which is the universal file format that describes building data. The most common one you will encounter is a step physical file, and is ASCII text file as an outcome from the IFC format. Then comes to IFC data model. Imagine like tree where each branch represents an element in your construction project, from simple things like wall to complex assemblies. That's your IFC data model. When we go to property set, they are like the extra spices in the in a recipe. We add additional characteristics to your element, such as thermal properties for walls or acoustic features for rooms. And lastly will be the IFC coordinate views. It's like focused subset on the IFC schema designed for collaborative design, making it easier for different disciplines to exchange information between them. Now let's go to the challenges and limitations for openBIM. So what are the challenges? Let's start with the challenges. So we'll start with technical complexity. If you are a new to BIM, the learning curve can be steep. Understanding the standards and protocols is not always straightforward. Software compatibility, not all software is fully open BIM compliant. This can lead to hiccups in data exchange when we start new project. We need to be very careful with the software selection. Data management. BIM project generate tons of data. Managing it effectively easier said than done. So we have to be very careful. Quality control. Inaccurate data can lead to costly mistakes. Ensuring data quality is a big challenge. Security. With multiple stakeholders involved with data security became a concern. And cost. Transitioning to openBIM is not cheap. In long term, it might be cheaper than closed BIM, but now we need to get new software and training can adapt. And we have to be very careful. openBIM doesn't mean free BIM or free software. And lastly is the industry resistance, which is like common in any change or any digital transformation right now. So it's all habit die hard, and the construction industry is no exception in changes. And now let's go to limitation. So the limitations start with standardization gaps. IFC is great, but it doesn't cover every specialist needs yet. Keep evolving, keep improving, but it still need a lot for performance. Handling complex BIM model required robust hardware, which can be limitation for some users. Uh, limited expertise. Skilled open BIM professionals are short supply. I don't know. Yeah. Stakeholder buy-in. To get your stakeholder, if everyone not on board with openBIM, the project can suffer. And legal issue. Shared data means shared responsibility, and that can get complicated. And finally, the global adaptation. openBIM is growing, but not universally adopted, making international project challenge at the moment. And thank you for listening, and yeah, you can contact me on my LinkedIn or on my email if you got any more questions about openBIM. Thank you all.